Unveiling truths, piecing together the mystery of a missing child with relentless determination. You must see this room that Summer Wells had where she had to crawl through a space to get into it. Shocking discoveries lead back to the wells.
Windows are secured with reflective type of materials, and so you can tell this is, it's pretty striking pretty quickly for a 5-year-old to be in this environment.
Chris, the other three boys, Summers brothers, were removed from the home, taken into protective custody. Are they key to understanding anything in this case and her disappearance? Is there a chance that they are able to shine some light on what may have happened?
From my opinion as retired investigator, they would be, yes.
Mm-hmm. And in terms of the parents and their past, that has also been something that is much talked about. Candace filed for.
I saw that on your page, Jason. I saw the truck that you put up on your page recently on Facebook. So the FBI did retrieve the truck from South America. Wow, I really hope we hear something and we get closer to this, man. All right.
Order of protection against her husband, Don, saying that she was afraid of being hurt. She was afraid for those kids. That was likely part of why they were removed from the home. How do investigators take that information and also anything the kids might know and try to piece this puzzle together?
Yeah, Marty, that's a great question. So, with a 5-year-old child, obviously time is of the essence. So the first officer on the scene quickly wants to assess who had last contact, what were those conditions in relationship to that contact, how much time has elapsed before the last person saw the child. And so immediately you want to start talking to the parents and you want to try to separate them. And as you go along, trying to get the information initially about the child, then the parent's background becomes significant in relationship to an investigative process as more resources are arriving on the scene.
Chris, police say that there was no evidence of foul play, yet they issued an Amber Alert. How can they be so sure?
Well,
all right, I'll stop for just a second. Jason says Chris McDonough wants to make a big deal about the dogs, but dogs were not present at the house that day. And that makes sense. I mean, all of this stuff is making sense. And I just want to hear what has come out of this, what the significance of the truck is. The third car, did that have significance? Who went down that road often? And why are the parents just not wanting to speak anymore? Again, it's just a question I'm putting out there. I did not see they found the red truck in South America of all places. I didn't see that either. But Jason Jensen has been working on that case. And if you go on his Facebook, you'll see the truck and many things that he's posted about the Summer Wells case. So awesome. Thank you. Zero proof red truck was located. Well, Kitty, when you're working on, we don't know that, but I'm going to take Jason at his word, being a private eye, and I'm sure if that's incorrect, he would do the same thing I would do and correct it. So let's keep going. Look at these people, man. Whether they're in church, jeez, what a way to cover up your actions. Go to church. You mathematicians?
Oh, that's a great question. The investigative process is still, ongoing. It could be an accident. It could be, something, an intentional act of some sort. I think the investigators, and we heard Sheriff Lawson even say today, that everything is still on the table.
You have been in contact with the parents, Don and Candace. Are you still in touch with them now?
Not currently, no.
What's the deal with this red truck? It is potentially a piece of this puzzle. Have you heard anything about the truck? Has it led to any evidence or information for investigators?
Well, at this point, TBI has reported that the red truck, they want to try to contact that individual who may have been driving. There is a witness who is really vague about whether it was around the area on the 14th or the 15th. So it could have been the day before or the day of Summer's disappearance. However, I think what they want to do is just check the box to eliminate that truck. They have eliminated a lot of red trucks in that area.
How closely would investigators be looking at family and friends of both Candace and Dawn, this inner circle of people that they know?
I think we all think that it's someone from the inner circle because I mean, who else is going to be out that way knowing about the children and the how accessible they are? Jason says Camden and Allie on their channel show themselves on Dawn and Candace's property, and there were no dogs going nuts. Camden and I'll have to take that look at Camden and Allie. I'm sure y'all are familiar with that. I don't believe no dogs were there. I heard the dogs interfered with the search dogs in the Dotson where they said the dogs were. All right, I'm going to take a look at the Camden and Alley and dig more into this because there's a lot of things that I just didn't realize. I thought they were just far out there, theories and, etc. I don't think Don knew CPS was likely going to remove the kids and he thought he could get some money for summer. Interesting. So much. There's such, we want Summer to be found. We want Summer to be brought home. I don't know that she's alive anymore, guys, but yeah, we want to bring her home.
Especially given the fact that Don has admitted that they had some wrong friends, or at least Candace did.
That would be significant. And you want to, again, you want to look at the abduction theory and you have to think, how high of a risk would a subject who would want to, take a child, a 5-year-old, how high of a risk would that suspect take? And in that terrain and coming up that hill with the information that Summer between 2 and 10-minute time frame was in that basement, the universe would have to be 100% on schedule for all those stars to align.
Right.
So that's where you want to start, shifting your focus in relationship to, taking a look at the inner circle, who had access to that property and or who had access to the parents.
Chris?
Now listen, that's what I was thinking, Jason. I was like, I mean, they're not sophisticated people by any means. So when you say that you're selling a child or trafficking them, you gotta be just a tiny bit of sophistication. And trafficking is not just something that it's something bigger, we'll say. So how does a hillbilly sell a child? Have you seen their house? Yeah, we were just showing that today. We were showing the inside. And I think when you say sold the child or trafficking, I think it might be different. I think people might be thinking that, if I couldn't sell someone today if I wanted, exactly. But I think those people, what they're saying about selling was trading for monetary gain or for DRUGs, right? Like Jen Soto. Jen Soto wasn't sophisticated enough to sell Maddie to Stephen Stearns, but they had a mutual exchange. You can have Maddie and I can have whatever you give me, what you bring to the table. So that I think that's what people mean. And I agree. Those people are not sophisticated enough to have some deal on the table with this trafficking ring. I don't know. I don't think that either. But Texas Plain Jane says, I think debt was owed and the piper came to collect. Man, I wish we knew what was. I want to know what's happening now. All right, let's keep going. We're almost gonna give away a Foxy box, y'all. We can do this for another freaking 4 hours.
5 months is a long time for this little girl to be missing. As more time goes by, how optimistic are you that this case is solvable, that we can find Summer and bring her home safely?
Well, I'm always optimistic. Statistically, though, that optimism starts to dwindle. However, I do believe this case will be solved. I think they have the correct resources on it with TBI, FBI, as well as the Hawkins County Sheriff's Department in the lead. And I, like you and the rest of the nation, are praying. I'm praying that they do find her.
And we are as well. And I think it just comes to the bottom line of trafficking or being sold. People still think that Sebastian was sold to someone possibly or trafficked when he's not even in the realm of what a trafficking ring would want, an autistic 15-year-old boy. So, I mean, I understand what we're talking about here. The dogs went on vacation. Oh my goodness, there's so much in this case. Yeah, if you guys have more information, send me an email, guiltyofcrimebyj@gmail.com, or send me cases. When law enforcement hides and never does updates, people go with the conspiracies. I agree under your scars. People do that anyway. Look at the Brian Koberger case. Signed, sealed, delivered, done, and we still got channels every day saying that he didn't do it. So again, I'm not going to get into that portion of it, but that's what happens. Let's investigate the $50,000 cash loan the father obtained. All right. Sebastian is another story I've been reviewing. Well, I would love to hear more about that because I am just I really want to know what happened to Sebastian and who did it, right? And how did Katie, I'm not even going to get into that. Let's just keep going. Children don't disappear.
I share in that prayer. It has our attention. It has the attention of a lot of people on social media. And those folks on social media are relentless, as are we. Chris McDonough, we appreciate your time and, as always, your insight. Thank you.
And I agree. I don't want anyone to get offended. I remember when I first started covering the Jack and Lily case, and I said, look at that property. Look at these mathematicians. That place is no place for a child, and people got mad at me saying I live in a trailer and being a hillbilly mentality doesn't have to do whether you're from Tennessee or you're from Florida like Jen Soto. You're right. It's a mentality, right? It's like when you call someone white trash, right? It doesn't necessarily mean that you're calling out their ethnicity. It's who they are as people and their mentality. Thank you, M.M. Clark. Because that's not who we are talking about that. All right, let's keep going. And we're going to give away a Foxy box. So don't forget, you hit the like button and drop a comment, guys, and you have to be green. Jason Jensen, awesome news. That poor child, I know. What's up, Joni? Good to see you. All right, let's keep going.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching. Click the red subscribe.
Subscribe to News Nation. Get a tip from me. What? All right, let's keep going. I'm getting these weird text messages right now. All right. Methodical. Interesting. All right. Kitty Hawk says being a hillbilly means you're from the hills, or the holler is a culture, an identity to being from Tennessee. Well, yeah, I mean, some people say that, but I didn't know that, Kitty Hawk. Well, you could be here literally in California and go down the street where we're not in the city and you'll be called a hillbilly for that. So I get it, but that's not exactly. Yeah, there you go, Foxy. All right, guys, it's all fun and games until it's over. Boop.